How to wholesale a house with no money. Coming up. All right, guys. Having a little fun today. How to wholesale a house with no money. It's actually easier than you think. Here's how we do it. All right. So with no money at all, we're going to have to find a deal on a piece of property first. That's like the basic principle of wholesaling is find a great deal and sell it to somebody else at a good price and make a little margin, maybe a big margin. But we're going to have to find that deal. So we're going to have to basically start trading time and putting in some hustle to find these individuals. We're going to have to start driving for dollars. We're going to have to start cold calling for sale by owners or even investors that have their property listed for rent. You can go to the Section 8 website. You can go on Zillow. You can find these for sale by owners. You can even start calling listed properties, but you may have to have an agent help you with that and or a proof of funds and have your ducks in a row to be able to do that. But with no money, right, the best way is to go direct to seller. And you're going to have to market to them. And you're going to want to tell everybody you know that you're in the business of buying houses and you're looking for fixer-uppers. And you're going to drive around, you're going to knock on doors, and you're going to call people, and you're going to find that person. And that time frame is going to vary depending on how hard you work and how much marketing you're doing, all right? But how to wholesale a house with no money is what we're talking about today, not the time frame. So what we're going to do is we're going to find that motivated seller. And guys, that's the hard part. Let's be honest. Once you find that seller that's motivated, the rest of it's really easy. And I'm going to explain that in a minute. But I want to take a second and talk about this part. Can you flip houses with little to no money? Or can you flip houses with no money even? And the answer is yes, right? However, it's yes, you can if you get a good deal on a piece of property. But good deals on pieces of property don't typically just fall into your lap every day. Now, if you do a lot of marketing and you tell everybody you know, then yes, that can happen. But typically what's going to happen is you're going to have to do a lot of marketing and talk to a lot of people and go look at a lot of properties to find these deals. So that's the first part. Once you understand that this is a marketing business and you start marketing, and if you don't have money to send postcards, then you can call with your existing phone or go knock on doors, right? This is all about a no money strategy. So there's options for you still. Once you find the deal, it gets easy. That's crazy, right? Like the hardest part is finding the deal. Once you have the deal, the rest is actually quite simple. So how does it work? Well, seller comes and they say, hey, Dave, I have this house. It's trashed. The tenants left it. I don't want to fix it. In fact, I don't even really have the money to fix it, but I don't owe a lot on it. So, it's probably worth $100,000. What would you give me for it? And I come in and I say, I'll give you $60,000. And they say, I don't really want to sell it for that, but I don't have the money to fix it up. Can you do 65? And I'll say, I'll do 62, and boom, we have a deal. So I'm going to send them an offer for 62. Okay. And it doesn't need that much work. Let's just say it needs a couple grand. It's irrelevant even. And now that I have this property under contract to buy it, right? In my contract, I'm going to have CYA clauses that are going to allow me to exit the deal in the event that I can't make the deal happen. But I'm going in with good faith. All right. And I'm going to be buying it with cash as is. And I'm going to hopefully do it quickly, 3 to 4 weeks. That's relatively quickly compared to 3 or 4 months, which it could take if they went the traditional route. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send that offer. I'm going to sign it. They're going to sign it. And I'm even going to put in that contract that my earnest money is going to be due whenever my inspection period ends. And that's going to buy me even more time. Because again, in this video, we're talking about how to wholesale a deal with no money. So we're just going to put that into the terms of the contract that, yeah, we will put up earnest money and yeah, we will pay cash, but we need at least, 10, 15 days to do inspections and find that right partner. And at the end of that period, we'll put up our earnest money. So now that I have control in this property, this is called equitable interest. And it gives me the ability to market that interest in that contract for sale to anybody else. Now, I'm not essentially or exactly marketing the property for sale. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm marketing my interest to purchase that property for sale. Think about that for a second. I'm basically saying, hey, I can buy this, and if you want it, I'll get out of the way. That's basically what we're saying. So how do you market the property for sale? 3 little words, guys. At the bottom of all your marketing, just put owner by contract in parentheses. That's it. People will understand that you're the owner of this property by contract. That means you have the equitable interest. They're not actually buying it from a seller. They're buying it from a wholesaler or an investor. Some cases that property may be purchased first and then sold. That's a double close. Other cases that investor will truly get out of the way and assign that deal, and they will basically just be connected, and you'll just be kind of on the side and you'll get a fee, right? So there's a couple different ways to go about doing this. So how to wholesale a house with no money. You're going to find the deal. Let's recap. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to use a contract to gain control, and you're going to use specific verbiage to limit your risk to zero by saying, based on partner's approval or subject to, sewer inspections or just inspections in general, must be satisfied with the inspections. And I want a final walkthrough before the end of the inspection period. So you have a lot of ways to get out, right? And then you're even going to go the next step and say, and my earnest money will be due at the end of my inspection period. And then that entire inspection period, what are you going to do? You're going to inspect, and you're going to market, more importantly than anything, because that's the whole point, is to wholesale it and find a buyer. So you're going to start inspecting it and find things, and you're also going to be marketing it, and other people are going to be coming in, and you're going to be working with these buyers for you to try to tee this up for them, for their next deal, their next rehab, or their next rental, or whatever they may want that for. You're going to help them, and you're essentially going to sell your interest to purchase it to them at a profit. So if you can get the deal at 80, you're going to try to sell it at 100, and maybe they come and they say, we'll give you $93,000 for it, and boom, that's a $13,000 spread right there. It can happen that easily, right? And then at the end of the inspection period, you're going to hopefully have their inspection period in, because essentially you're going to use a contract to gain control, but do not forget that you're going to also have to receive a contract from your cash buyer. There's always going to be 2 contracts. Sometimes even 3 if there's an assignment or a joint venture. Could even be more, right? But essentially there's a buyer and seller contract with you and the seller, right? So you're in the middle. The seller's A, you're B, and then C would be your investor buyer. So they're going to give you a contract. And in that contract, you're going to demand that the earnest money be due before the end of your inspection period. And then you're putting up the earnest money at that point. Okay? And you're also going to want to align up your sale contract with your purchase contract, or like I said earlier, step out of the way. And when you do that, you're just going to need to make sure that when you assign it, that the buyer is going to be willing to fulfill all the obligations that you already promised or agreed the seller whenever you assigned that original contract with them. So that's really it, guys. Wholesaling is a marketing business. And really, it's not even real estate that's being bought or sold. It's contracts. It's actually flipping paperwork. And a lot of people, they struggle with this for a long time, right? So learn now from the beginning that wholesaling is a marketing business. You don't have to have any money. We've flipped $1 million packages and portfolios with none of our own money because we're using contracts to gain control. And then we're selling the contracts. It's flipping paper. All right, very simple. Guys, if you want to learn how to wholesale, go check out freewholesalecourse.com or head on over to discountpropertyinvestor.com. And there's a free offer generator. We have some other free courses over there, as well as tips and tricks, tools, and my secret weapons. You can even find all the softwares and services that I use in my very own business every single day. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you learned something, and subscribe for more. Signing off.